Overlanding is a growing and creative genre of combining automotive enthusiasm and off-roading with the unique experiences and exploration that come with camping in the outdoors. Overlanding allows exceptional mobility to get further off the beaten path, then enjoy hiking, mountain biking, and more. Choosing the vehicle for that journey, especially if you're on a budget, can be a daunting task, so allow me to encourage you to consider the WD21 Nissan Pathfinder. Okay, so if you happen to be one of my Corvette subscribers, have patience. I have a great video in the works. I try to upload every, once a week if I can, twice a week if I can. This is just a hobby for me, but I hope you enjoy this video about the WD21 Pathfinder. So when we were originally looking for a first generation 1990 to 1995 four-door Pathfinder, there were some specifics that I was looking for. I really wanted to focus in on what was the equivalent to the SR5 4Runner. In the era, they had a lot of top tier, basically highly optioned models in Toyota, Nissan, and other brands. And so with Toyota, the 4Runner had the SR5 model. With Nissan, the SEV6 model was specifically what I was looking for. And let me show you some of the details why I think this is really a great budget overland vehicle if you can find a specific type of WD21 Pathfinder. So number one would be the very unique rear tire carrier that comes on the SEV6 as an option. Now don't hold me to it, some of you Nissan guys, you might know this better, but basically this wasn't on every model. The great thing about the carrier is if you have the ability to do a little bit of modification or welding, you can actually maybe attach some things, and this is what we're going to do in our build. So go ahead and if you want to see what we do with this vehicle, go ahead and click subscribe. We do have this build in motion. We are just starting it. If you're doing really heavy off-roading, this probably isn't going to apply to you, but for me with the overlanding, I like the factory Nerf bars that come on this vehicle. They're not going to be great rocker protectors or sliders or anything like that if you're trying to do any rock crawling, but they do provide a great standing platform if you were to get a roof tent or a roof basket. The thing that I like about the 90s Japanese vehicles is I thought that they had a very timeless, enduring design. There was nothing very radical about them, but the thing that I really can't avoid loving on the Pathfinder specifically is the flares. And by flares, I'm referring to these metal protruding areas of the actual body, not the rubber flares that are above the wheels, which are also optional, by the way. But I really loved this design. It was very muscular and aggressive. When I was in high school, when this vehicle was kind of roaming the streets, I really liked them. I just didn't care for what was referred to today as the Lego wheels. The Lego wheels at the time, I just liked the SR5 wheels better, but today, in kind of a throwback status, they kind of have a retro feel to them, and I think with a proper finish, they'll probably be a great complement to the vehicle. So next on my list is going to be the factory roof carrier. Now, this isn't something that's really hard to find on a lot of types of vehicles, but again, if you do get the SEV6, it is quite likely that the factory carrier is located, and you can get some bars from the aftermarket that will lock into those carrier rails, and that can enable you to use a roof tent or something like that. The other thing that should be noted with the WD21 Pathfinders is there are people that take the Nissan Xterra roof bars and they basically kind of retrofit them, so that's going to be an option and something to think about. So another great asset of the WD21 Pathfinder is the fact that it's such a well-documented vehicle. The hard body chassis in itself and the number of years that these have been really driven hard off-road, everything underneath the vehicle is very well documented. And when I say underneath, I'm referring to suspension, steering systems, great aftermarket support, great availability of parts worldwide. With overlanding, you're going to be going far off of the beaten path. And getting a tow truck, getting something out there to you if you have a newer platform, not that new platforms can't be reliable, especially with lower mileages, but the fact of the matter is the 90s Japanese vehicles were extremely reliable and extremely simple. So just proper maintenance and keeping up with the vehicle is going to give you the likelihood that you're going to make it back. So one of the most significant reasons that I think this was such a great deal in terms of the cost that you pay for these is the fact that the SEV6s, if they have the rear disc brake option, it is very likely that they also have the LSD option, and you definitely want the LSD option. The beauty of the limited slip differential in the back of these is that it allows power to go to both rear wheels. This is going to give you a really substantive amount of two-wheel drive capability. And when going out off-road by yourself, which is generally not advised, the way that I kind of approach it is if you can go out in two-wheel drive with an LSD, you're going to basically not get yourself into so much trouble that if you do then engage four-wheel drive, you can't get yourself out. That's the best way, I think, to approach going off-road by yourself. And going out there with an open differential is it's gonna pretty much force you to have to run four-wheel drive. But if you can have something like a limited slip in the rear or a locker and just run in two-wheel drive, then you'll have the four-wheel drive as kind of an ability to rescue for something. So if you're really pushing yourself and you find yourself getting into trouble in two-wheel drive, you'll know, you know what, I'm kind of pushing the limits of being out here by myself. I'm going to go into four-wheel drive mode. Another reason that I chose this as a great budget overland vehicle is because it is just an under-the-radar type of vehicle that is very comparable to the 4Runner. The Toyota 4Runner, I mean, there's no question that as an overlander and as an off-roader, it's a great choice. And the fact of the matter is in the 90s, you know, these vehicles were very competitive with each other, but the 4Runner was just the preferred vehicle, I think. And for that reason, I think these just fly under the radar a little bit. I mean, $1,350 is what we paid for this one. Come on, I mean, you can't beat that. 166,000 miles, factory 31-inch tires, $1,350 with a rear limited slip. Let me tell you, we're going to be building this vehicle. We're going to do a lot of modifications to try and keep it reliable, keep the gas mileage as good as possible. There's not going to be any huge lifts on here or anything. This is going to be a very functional platform that we're going to use. I encourage you to subscribe and check out our other videos, and I thank you for watching. Have a good day.